Okay, I talked to everyone about doing an oil wash and what that would look like, okay, on the piece. Now, I'm going to go ahead and zoom the camera in some more. This camera's got a good zoom, so you guys can see that. Okay, there's my finger for a comparison size. This is one of the legs. The legs came out the best. I really like how the leg came out. This looks really good to me. Here's one leg, here's the other leg for comparison. Okay, they're not in the same orientation, but they're on the same sides as each other. And if I turn them, you can see them there as well. Okay, I really like how the legs came out. Those are keepers. Uh-oh, if I'm saying it that way, that means something went wrong. Okay, here's one of the arms. And this arm came out pretty good. It looks the way I want it to. I'm about to clear coat all this to seal it. That's why we're going through it real quick and taking a look at it. Here's one of the feet. And I really like how that came out. I mean, it's been more than a week, so this oil paint is cured. Uh-oh, can someone see something wrong? Right there. I went on a big long talk about oil paint versus lacquer paint and how they are not compatible and one shouldn't eat the other, and then it looks like that was eaten. But if you notice, this thing was completely covered in lacquer, in the thinner for the oil, and it didn't touch anywhere. What happened to that particular part, and it's on the foot of this boot as well, what happened is I rubbed it too hard. When I put the brass paint down, the brass color down, I did it with a very thin coat. Then I didn't clear coat any of this. So it didn't have a protective layer on it. And when I rubbed it pretty hard with a Q-tip, it ate up the paint. That's what happened, is it ate up the paint. You can see it in a few spots on here. Well, it didn't eat up the paint, it rubbed the paint off. That's what happened, is it rubbed the paint off. Overall, I like how this came out. It looks just exactly the way I wanted it to. Okay? This could use a little bit more dirtying up in the back, but not a lot. It's really looking the way I want it to, just so everyone knows. Let's look at that hand. That hand was the one I was really happy with, right? I'm going to pick it up and bring it up to the camera. Now, it might be too much because this thing's on a pretty deep zoom. There we go. There's the hand. Okay? And I like how that hand came out. And it's trying to focus on the background again. I like how the hand came out. Now, if I handle it too hard, that oil paint might loosen up and come off. So I got to be careful with it. But I really like how the hand came out. So it goes in the keeper bin. The helmet. Now, I didn't work on the helmet very hard. I didn't rub the helmet very hard in any place, so the helmet looks good. I gotta do the clear glass, so I'm gonna do that tonight or tomorrow night. I don't have a lot of time up here tonight. This part right here, I went after it pretty heavily on the end. I'm showing upwards, and you can tell I did, because the paint came off of it with the Q-tip. I rubbed it too hard with the Q-tip, because there was no protective layer on it. But all in all, this came out really well. As good as I could have expected. This part came out really nice too. Let me pull it up a little closer to the camera. There we go. Good focus. Yeah, this part came out exactly how I wanted it to. Okay. So I don't have that many parts I really need to touch the paint up on. 4 parts. And 1 or 2 of them is really light. And it's only going to take me a few seconds to touch that paint up on. And the one part that I really got to get working on is the head. So this is where we stand with the Mach A kit. I got to work on the head, and it needs to be primered. I got to put some paint down. Okay. The oil paint itself, it's a true and tried, and it's been a method around for a really long time. Okay. A very long time. So you shouldn't have trouble with it if you try it. Now, one thing I could probably do with this part, bring her up to the camera, because, you know, well, what I can probably do with this part right here is just hit it with some oil paint there and put some streaking where that is. And I probably don't really need to touch this up. I want to hit these pipes right here and darken them anyhow. So this part looks okay to me. It looks fine. I might hit it with just a little bit of oil paints right in there to darken it. But then again, it wouldn't hurt for me just a lot. Well, I'm going to lighten it up too much if I spray another layer. So I'm just going to hit it with like some burnt sienna or something and give it some rusty color there. And at the bottom of this, oh, part fall, no! Well, this is a pretty solid piece, so no damage, see? But anyhow, working along the back of this, I need to rust it up a little bit. So another round of oil paints for that one probably will be fine. But these other parts, they need to be hit with that brass again. And I really hate to hit some of these with the brass because of the way they are. Well, no, these aren't hard to hit with the brass. There's only 3 of them. So I'm going to fix the paint and the oil paint issue on that main body before I clear coat everything. And get this primered, the head primered, so I can start working on it. Because, well, I've never done figure painting. Painting the head is going to be the challenge of the evening. Well, having said that, it is time for me to quit and get to bed. Just thought I'd show everyone the end results here. It won't be too long and I'll be putting this together. That's why I've been working on the base. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Be back later. All right, everyone. I just got through showing the parts off. And I made a decision at the last minute. I was not going to repaint everything. I decided if I made a mistake, I can go with it. This is the foot that had the bad spot. This is the foot that had the bad spot. And this is the body. Okay? Now, I'm going to zoom that in a lot more because this camera will. So we can take a look at them and see what I did. I just darkened the white spot on the foot. Got the oil paints out and just darkened it and stained it up so it looks like it's stained now. Nice random pattern to it. This is the bad side of this foot. So now when you look at the foot, if I can hold on to it long enough, I should just set it down and let it go. There's one side. And then there's the other. Okay? This is the foot that had the bad sides to it. The arm that had the bad end to it, I just darkened it up and thought, well, why not give it an orange stripe? Okay? This, I don't remember which arm that is, which arm segment that is. This is probably the hand. Yeah, that's the hand. That's where the hand goes. So the hand has an orange stripe now. And remember these plates? They were all dirtied up. I mean, really lightened up. Well, I dirtied them up. And I did the same thing all over the place on this thing. It's a lot dirtier now, and I even put it on the decal in the front. So now these plates around the feet actually look copperish. And I stained it up at the top a little bit too. The oil paints will stain, and that's one thing about them. They are good at staining things. Now, I don't want to handle it too much because these oil paints, they're not set, and they won't set for a week. So I won't be back to this guy for a week, but in video land, well, it'll probably be about a week because I'm kind of slow with the videos right now. Even though on this Mach A guy, I probably have an hour worth of footage now. So, one last thing to talk about. The plaster I'm using, it's something I got at my big box hobby shop, and this is my project box from the Mach A guy. Jewelry. I'm using the snake chain for hoses. And yes, you can go to a jewelry shop and ask for snake chain. and preferably find some that is on sale for like $6 instead of finding something that's not on sale. You can find it on eBay pretty cheap. But anyhow, plaster. Yeah, ADD, attention deficit disorder. The plaster I bought says mix 1/3 water with 2/3 plaster. In the first cast I did, I felt like that was way too thin and kept adding a lot of plaster. And it said 30 minutes will start set up. No, it was 2 hours. The second batch, I followed the direction. It was 2 hours. So just follow the directions on there. Make a test shot. Plastic cups, plastic spoons are great for this. That's how I mix my plaster. Because you're going to throw whatever away, or you take it out and you clean it meticulously. And you don't do that in pipes. You clean this stuff in a pipe. When it sets, it stays in the pipe. And next thing you know, you have clogged up pipes. You're calling a plumber, and he's going to say, you idiot, you plastered up your pipes. So do not clean this stuff in a sink. Take it outside and clean it with a garden hose. Don't have a garden hose? Mix it in a plastic cup and throw it away. Okay? Because, you know, this is plaster. It cures with water. And no matter how much water you give it, it will still cure. Now, I'm liable to hang on to a piece that looks like this because I want to see how it takes paint. And this gives me a piece to paint instead of my tile pieces. So I've got something to test with. Okay? So I'm not throwing out all this plaster just yet. I'm going to use it for a test. One last thing. Abe's Epoxy Sculpt. It's good stuff. I got this tripod from my mom. It was my dad's tripod. I'm sure it's pretty old. It's solid metal. The legs do extend out fairly well. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments on it. Okay. It's very much like the one I've got the camera on, only smaller. And again, it's all metal except for one piece, the handle. And I think my dad quit using it because the handle was breaking. And I have the original handle here still. And you can see where it broke. Well, I just took some Aves, sculpted it up, put it around there, and it works just as good as the original handle did. It doesn't look very good, but it works just as good. And I get to keep a tripod that my dad had probably from the 50s or 60s, because that's an old tripod. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this tripod. It is very, very nice tripod. It has a little lock here, and then you dial it up and down. Okay? Sorry, I'm off camera. But you can dial it up and down. It has a dial for raising it up and down. Very, very nice mini tripod. It will fit in a... Well, if you got cargo pants, it'll fit in your pocket in your cargo pants. And then you have a little tripod. And it's metal. They don't make these things out of metal anymore. Almost all the tripods you find are plastic, or they're a couple of $100s. All right, so maybe this will be a good eBay find. Go look on eBay and type old tripod and see what you find. I know if I come across that in a junk store or something for 10 bucks, it's mine. All right, everyone, so I'm going to get going. I need to get to bed. I have to work tomorrow. I got to teach statistics almost the whole day tomorrow. I know that sounds like so much fun, doesn't it? But it's how I make a living. So I will talk to all of you later. Okay? And I got physics tomorrow too, so I get to teach some physics and some statistics. Physics is more fun. We're doing electricity and magnetism, so I get to talk about LEDs. And I know some of you like that idea. All right, I will talk to you later.